Hello viewers, welcome to the best purchase guide on YouTube. We all know that it's difficult to find the best product according to our budget. To make your purchase decision easier and to save your time, in this video our expert team picked only the finest items for you based on features, manufacturer's reputation, price and actual user feedback. So, if you choose from this list, you can be rest assured that you're buying the best product. Please check the description below for product links and updated prices. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. So, let's get started.
Our number one pick is Asus ROG Strix X570E. You can consider Asus and its ROG lineup of motherboard options if you do not have any budget restrictions and want something which offers excellent performance along with handy connectivity options for the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X processor. Asus ROG Strix X570E gaming motherboard for Ryzen 7 5800X happens to be the most expensive option given here, which is to be expected considering its superb overclocking support and features, as you will see down below. Starting with the form factor of this motherboard, you will be glad to know that it is a full-size ATX motherboard. Being such a premium AMD motherboard, it uses the AMD AM4 CPU socket along with the AMD X570 motherboard chipset for proper CPU compatibility and features. Just like all other AMD X570 motherboards, this one also offers a cooling fan for its motherboard chipset. Another similarity between this and other AMD X570 motherboards is that this Asus one also supports AMD 3rd Gen 5000 series and AMD 2nd Gen 3000 series processors. This Asus motherboard also offers pretty great memory support, thanks to its 4 memory slots. These memory slots can be used to install up to 128 GB of memory that can run at up to 4400 MHz speeds. Similar to the previous MSI motherboard, this high-end board also features 5C expansion slots, which include 3x16 expansion slots for all your expansion needs. Our second best motherboard for Ryzen 7 5800X is MSI Mag B550 Tomahawk. MSI is a great option for those of you who are on a tight budget but still want to have a decent motherboard for using with the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X without compromising on basic connectivity options and features. The MSI Mag B550 Tomahawk gaming motherboard for Ryzen 7 5800X happens to be the cheapest option given in this list, which still offers a full-size form factor, making it perfect for value for money PC builds. Talking about the form factor, this MSI motherboard offers the ATX form factor, which is always great for connectivity options. As for the compatibility options of this motherboard, it relies on the AMD AM4 CPU socket and the AMD B550 motherboard chipset. Since this is a mid-tier motherboard chipset, this motherboard does not need a cooling fan for the same. Thankfully, similar to the higher-end X570 options, this motherboard also works perfectly with AMD 3rd Gen 5000 series and AMD 2nd Gen 3000 series processors. This MSI motherboard is still pretty great in terms of its storage options, since you get 6x SATA ports as well as 2x and MEM.2 SSD slots. To ensure that you get the most out of your AMD Ryzen 7 5800X, this motherboard also supports PCIe Gen 4 SSDs with its M.2 SSD slots. Third choice in our list is MSI MPG X570. MSI is one of the best options out there if you are looking for computer components that offer good performance along with handy features, which is also true for its motherboard for Ryzen 7 5800X given here, which can be a great entry-level option. The MSI MPG X570 Gaming Plus motherboard for Ryzen 7 5800X is present in the first position in this list, since this is the cheapest option given, which still offers a high-end motherboard chipset. To make the same possible, this MSI motherboard uses the full-size ATX form factor, which allows it to offer various connectivity options. As for its high-end motherboard chipset, it uses the AMD X570 motherboard chipset. And to ensure proper performance with this motherboard chipset, it offers an inbuilt cooling fan for the chipset. Coming to the compatibility of this motherboard, it uses the AMD AM4 CPU socket. With the given CPU socket and motherboard chipset, this motherboard is compatible with the AMD 3rd Gen 5000 series and 2000 series processors. You will also get 4 memory slots with this motherboard, which allow you to install up to 128 GB of RAM in total. Talking about the performance of these memory slots, you can run a memory kit of up to 4400 MHz speeds with it. Despite being fairly affordable, this motherboard still includes a total of 5 C expansion slots, which includes 2 X16 expansion slots for high-end expansion cards. Number 4 in our side is Asus ROG Strix B550F. Asus offers mid-tier motherboard options under its ROG lineup of computer components, which offers very similar performance and features to more expensive Asus ROG motherboards, making it perfect for the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X. The Asus ROG Strix B550F gaming motherboard for Ryzen 7 5800X is most probably the best performing mid-tier motherboard that you can find out there for using with AMD Ryzen processors. Since this is a mid-tier motherboard, it uses the AMD B550 motherboard chipset along with the AMD AM4 CPU socket. Because of its given motherboard chipset, it does not need any chipset cooling fans, making it completely silent. Another benefit of this given CPU socket and motherboard chipset is that this Asus motherboard works perfectly with AMD 3rd Gen 5000 series and AMD 2nd Gen 3000 series processors. Moving to the connectivity options of this motherboard, it uses the full-size ATX form factor. As a result, you get a total of 4 memory slots with it, which can be used to install up to 128 GB of memory. This memory can be used at up to 4400 MHz speeds, which is quite good for most. Another great thing about this Asus motherboard is that you get 5 C expansion slots along with it, where a total of 2 of them are X16 expansion slots. Similar to most other motherboards for Ryzen 5 5800X, this Asus one also comes with 6X SATA ports as well as 2X and MEM.2 SSD slots. You will also get support for PCIe Gen 4 high-speed SSD drives with these SSD slots for the best storage performance. For details, let's watch more. Last in our top 5 best motherboard for Ryzen 7 5800X list is Gigabyte X570i Aorus Pro. Gigabyte has established itself as one of the top-tier companies producing many products from graphics cards to motherboards and even entire laptops. The Gigabyte X570i Aorus Pro Wi-Fi small form factor is perfect for smaller PC builds, making it the best mini ITX motherboard for Ryzen 7 5800X on this list and a must-have if you want to buy a motherboard that is sufficient for your smaller build. Sizes this small may cause some issues, but you should know that temperature will not be one of them, as the multi-layer fan layout and the extended heatsink that the product has employed have ensured that it does not suffer from overheating. Alongside comes the looks and aesthetics of the motherboard at no expense, as the design is sleek and attractive. All this beauty, and we have not even talked about the RGB on the side, meshing well with the black color of the motherboard itself and the silver strips accompanying it. Using a single 8-pin connector, the Gigabyte X570i Aorus Pro Wi-Fi delivers all of its power through this cable, making it great for micro ITX motherboards as there is less space to work with. Speaking of space, you will have a lot to work with considering the 3 M.2 sockets the product provides, making memory concerns a thing of the past. For details, let's watch more. Thanks for watching this video. Hope this guide will help you to make your decision easier. Don't forget to subscribe our channel for more guide and special tips on your feed.